I'm super excited today because I have Tima here, aka Mountain Gypsy, one of the inspiring people that I've recently met, and she really, really empowered me to do so much and stay active. So I will let her introduce herself. Tima, introduce
Okay.
yourself.
My name is Tima Deryan, known as Mountain Gypsy, because I'm lost in the mountains most of the time trying to figure out my way, but I get there. I've been climbing for the past 4 years. I've been into extreme sports since I was young. I'm an ex-scuba diver, ex-skydiver. I've done bungee jumps.
No pressure,
Here
no
and
pressure at
there.
all, guys.
La, but my point is, and then I started climbing mountains. So I had to test so many things and get as much as adrenaline from different sports until I found out what I really want. So I did not see myself in the element of air, not the water, but on the mountain. And I really believe the mountain has some feminine energy in there, which makes me who I am today and gives me the confidence and strength. But yeah, this is about me.
When did you start doing all of this?
I was about 23 years old when I started climbing mountains.
But what made you just say, like, this is the thing, I want to do it? Just while you're exploring, or?
So after trying the scuba diving and skydiving, and I still wanted to try more, I wanted to get more out of myself because those sports were giving me just instant seconds of like adrenaline or fun, or like it releases something. And then I'm like, okay, I want something that's longer. And like, what would it be? And I actually was in a motivational speakers event, and I heard them speaking about Everest. And I said, wait, but because when I was 14, I went to Nepal with my family, and I told them I'm going to climb this mountain. I had no idea what the mountain, it was just a joke, and we were flying over it. So I said, but I've said this, I know Everest. And then I asked about the details. He's like, you cannot simply go and climb Everest. It takes 2 months. I'm like, oh, it's more serious than what I thought. But so I started climbing mountains to train for Everest, and I started with the first mountain, which was the highest mountain in Europe. And then I discovered something called the Seven Summits, which is the highest mountain in every continent. And I'm like, boom, I did really well on the first mountain.
Guys, if you don't understand this, I'm telling you, if this is Mandarin to you, please Google it. This is like big deal. Like, this is badass big deal.
So yeah, like I felt like really, like I felt my body was made for the mountains, and I felt I can take so many things with me up to the top, which are intangible. But to me, it's adding so much value in terms of energy. I was collecting something from the mountain that is so, I cannot even describe it. And when I come back, you would see it flowing. You would automatically feel my energy flowing to you. And I just went on and on and on. I started climbing one by one, and so far I completed 6 out of the 7 summits. I still have one in Antarctica. I am the first Arab woman to climb the highest active volcano in the world in Chile. Youngest.
What an honor! What an honor to have an Arab woman achieve so much and bring such a reputation for the power and commitment of Arab women. Really.
It's pleasure, especially when it comes to the Arab woman. And the Arab woman, literally right now we're in transition. I keep on saying that we need more women in different fields, different sports, anything. Just come, do what you're really good at, ace it, and put it out there to the world for us to like shine and literally take the Arabic woman name to the top of the, I say top of the world, but like to the top in anywhere, in any community. Because seriously, like if you go anywhere in the world and you tell them, okay, I've been in situations, for example, in Alaska. I was climbing the highest one in North America. And then their question was like, you're coming from the desert.
Yeah.
And you're a woman. Can you carry 30 kgs in your backpack and like pull 30 kgs in your sled? I'm just like, you know what?
Show
now
them.
I'm gonna carry more.
Show them.
And okay, at one point I was tired. But
it's okay.
But like it's okay. I'm like, look, see, like you can like look, like I am carrying, I am doing what you're doing because we trained the same. Yeah. We did the exact same thing. Just because I come from the Middle East and I'm a woman,
it
doesn't define my strength and my ability to whether I can climb or not. And ever since like those like situations, seriously, they put me in a way, I don't know how to explain. Like I come back and I say, okay, you know what, this happened.
Pushed you.
Yeah. I'm not gonna allow this to happen. It happened to me, but it needs to stop. because like it's nothing too super impressive. Oh, it's an Arab woman, and I don't know
Yeah,
why.
like,
It's always a shock. Oh,
Yeah.
well, she's an Arab.
not
Oh,
only, I think also
sure.
because in the field that you're in, there is no gender balance.
That as well.
And because
It's
I know
more
when
male
you started-
dominated
Yeah.
sport.
But you said you started training. Did you train here in the UAE? And
Yeah.
okay, so tell us about these places
Okay.
so people, learn about these places.
Okay, so like I'm like, how do I train for mountains? They're like, you gotta be on a mountain to train for a mountain. I'm like, I live in the desert. And then we started googling. Okay, Ras Al Khaimah. There's Hatta in Dubai. There's Mleha in Sharjah.
So there are places
There are
where you
many
can actually
places
train.
in the UAE for the outdoors. So I'm like, okay, my GPS, my backpack, my stuff for training. You see me heading out every weekend religiously on a mountain, hiking, on an ascent, discovering new trails, doing this, doing that. And then I'm posting on my social media a lot. And then people are like, this is in the UAE?
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, right? Like, there's a lot of nice trails and there's a lot of nature in the UAE that, not because it's not, I think, advertised as well. So now I actually take people with me.
But I know that, when you started, you were still working, right?
Yes.
You were working and you were doing this, so you had like a lot of things on your plate.
So,
How often did you work, like train?
So I graduated. So I don't remember having a break. So I graduated, and then I come from a finance and accounting degree.
Yeah.
So not me, but it's okay. So
Nerd alert.
So I started working with an international corporate for 2 years, and then I wanted flexibility. I wanted time. I didn't care about career. I'm like, but like this is helping me. I've always wanted voice. I always believe voice is strength. Voice is
Powerful,
everything.
yeah.
This is what's like gives you power and like put you out there. So I'm like, okay, I don't want the career anymore. I quit my job and then I joined my father's company, and I was doing their accounting. And then we opened a company. It's an online company, demand supply. But then just 2 months ago, I said, okay, you know where? No, I cannot do 9 to 5. No, I cannot sit on the laptop for I don't know how many hours. I don't want to read about that in specific industry. I don't want to do numbers, because I only have 2 days for my passion and 5 days for
Yeah,
something I genuinely don't like, but it's paying my bills. I'm
Yeah.
like, I no longer want money. I want time. I think there are people who are made to be in the background in the office to do stuff, and they're really good at
Yeah.
it, and it's amazing. And there are people who are just made for people, and I think I'm from one of those who are made for the people. Like I always say, utilize me. What can you do? Like I have so much, and I do not wish to keep it to myself. What's the point of not putting the knowledge out there?
I feel like, mashallah, you've been doing a lot for young women.
Yes.
And I think I'd like you to share your experiences and why you are doing this. Give us some insights, because you took something that you're very passionate about and you're bringing all these people together. This is the way I look at it, to find their passion or define or get to know themselves. They might not be interested in hiking or, doing this and that, but this is an opportunity for them to get self-discovery. Tell us a
Correct.
little bit about that, because I'm really
Okay, so
Curious.
young females are the future. Given that I'm so into women empowerment and the youth. So like those young females, if you train them from now and set an example that look, I'm just 27 and this is what I chose and it's okay. We need to get out of the society where it imposes on us that cliche concept of you gotta be a doctor, engineer, businesswoman, I don't know what, or you gotta stay at home, take care of your family, take care of kids, marriage. No, no. This is why we cannot move forward. How are you moving forward? And what I try to do is literally lead by example. It's tough. It's not easy. I have, it's not easy with my family as well, because I also come from an Arabic culture background.
I want to know more about that as well.
So I'm literally pushing and pulling, pushing. And you gotta figure out an equilibrium where you find yourself, keep your family, your social life, society happy, but make a change at the same time. Because mindset, cultures are dynamic, families are dynamic, everything is dynamic.
And I think self-love and satisfaction is important. I think
That's
you
very
spend a lot
important.
of time with
Of
yourself,
course.
right?
I always say, I love myself so much.
Which is cool. I think it's cool. I mean, if you don't love yourself, I always say, first thing you should do, love yourself.
Yes, if you don't
Then
love
you can
yourself,
love others.
exactly. Look, if you love yourself, you attract the right things. As simple as that. Because you're clear, you're aware, you know what you want, and it will just come to you. And this is what have been happening to me. Young women, yeah, I do push for it, but at the same time, I see them coming to me, and I just want to share. I just want to put them out there. Like, discover yourself, trust yourself, be confident. Confidence in young women is so tough these days. We don't know what's happening in school. We don't know what's happening in their families, and I'm sorry, the elder generation are not okay, right all the time. They're not right all the time. They don't know what's happening in the world. I need to stay up to date. You need to be smart. You need to be tough. And I always say the tough cookie, be that tough cookie.
Yeah.
So soft from inside, but like tough from outside, because you are going to lead by examples, and they're the next generation. And we need to move forward in the Middle East. And women will move the Middle East forward.
I want to know more about the gutsy move of deciding to do Mount Everest. How did your family take that? How did you tell your friends? Because it was like, as much as we were all excited and so like, we were all nervous. So I'm curious, how did you convince your family?
It was, family was very easy. So I was in the car stuck in traffic, and I called my dad. I'm like, I have a news for you. He's like, what do you want now? I'm like, I'm gonna climb Mount Everest. He's like, I'm in Nepal. I'm like, oh really? Can you get me the information since you're there and all that? And then he was doing some business there, and he got me the details.
So it was planned. You wanted it
like
for a while.
it was like I suddenly called him. This is how it started when I was 23, and then. He got me the details. He's like, do you really want to climb it? It looks like it's hard. I'm like, oh, really? And then they started like looking up stuff and what's Mount Everest. And I kept on like saying facts. There's this amount number of people, and there's this amount number of women, and I can do this, and I can be this, and I can be that. And then they're like, طيب, okay, خلاص. And then I was climbing other mountains, and Everest for them was maybe she climbs it and gets married. خلاص, it's too much. Like she needs to find somebody.
It's time.
She's growing and she's still climbing mountains. And then it was mid-December, my birthday, and actually they proposed the idea. My dad came up and he's like, we're gonna help you fund your Everest trip, and you do the rest. I'm like, I didn't take it serious until the 31st of December 2019. I contacted an agency and I started preparing myself. I had 3 months to train.
2019 or 2018?
2019.
Okay, 2019.
End of 2018.
See?
Beginning of 2019.
I think we need coffee.
Yes,
it
yes.
was coffee. I was like, wow, you made it. So you train twice a day?
Yeah.
7 days a week?
6 days a week.
6 days a week? Thank God you took a break. What about your nutrition and all of that? Did you change the way you eat? Or because like a lot of people are not educated about how you prep your body and how you learn about oxygen, elevation, and all these things. Like, tell us about this experience.
Okay, so the way I eat was almost the same, as long as I'm feeding myself, getting the enough calories in, because I was burning a lot. That was the most important. So I wasn't really very specific in what I eat, because I knew on the mountain I'm gonna have to eat whatever they give me, and I gotta deal with it. So okay, there's a thing on the mountain. So after 3,000 meters, the pressure increases, the oxygen level becomes really hard. So like, imagine you're putting like bunch of tissue papers on your nose and trying to take a breath. So it's really tough. So on 3,000, it's still okay. You're about like 90%, I think. And then the higher you go, the lower it gets. And then your body is working twice. Your kidneys are working twice. Your heart is working twice. Every step counts. You take a step and you literally stand there and you breathe really heavy. And then you stand up again. You take a step there and like you breathe super heavy. So to train for something like this, the only way to train for it is to be on altitude. There's something called the acclimatization process. So it's not okay. I sound
no, but it's
so throughout my previous climbs, what happens is you climb high and you sleep low. So when you're climbing high, the red blood cells in your body is increasing. So you climb high, and then in the same day you go back down. So you go up 500 meters, let's say, and then you go back down 500 meters. You sleep down, and when you're sleeping, it's increasing. So the next time you climb, your body is acclimatized now. It's used to it, so it feels less pressure. So this is in terms of preparation.
Tell us about your best memories on the mountain.
Best
Especially
memories?
with your latest achievement,
Okay, best memories, like you'd hear me laughing on base camp the whole time. there are people with me in the group who would say, "Can you please be on the same day that we're going to the summit? We just want to hear you laughing." I find everything fun. I think I am the best version of myself. So best memories would be just me making fun of people, hanging around with people, because you spend 10 days on base camp in the mountains. You wake up literally and you look, okay, what am I doing today?
Yeah.
You go eat because you need a lot of food. You're burning. So I lost 10 kilos on Everest.
Wow.
So like I wake up, I eat as much as I can, but I cannot eat. I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
You're always not hungry. But then you eat, and then I'm like, okay, what am I doing today? I'm gonna clean my tent. So I would take out everything from the tent. Like it's my 2 month supplies, like clothes, food, everything. And like sit and clean it. And my mom gave me a khal.
Yeah,
vinegar.
Such an Arab mom.
And then I would put everything back again. And then, oh, it's still 12. What am I gonna do? I still have another 6 hours. We go for lunch. And then I hang around with people. I would play cards. I would read a book.
So you've met
I had the
interesting people in the
ukulele.
mountain.
Yeah, you meet a lot of interesting people in the mountain because everybody's there for the same reason. And what's so nice about mountains is like when it comes to backgrounds, you never think of where is he from. Like we don't think
Yeah.
like we think like we obviously think about these things in the city, right? Like your background. At least you
What
want to
did
know
you want
something.
Yeah.
On the mountain, all you care about is what's your rotation? What date are you going to the summit? That's all we care about. We're just there for one reason, which is climbing the mountain, getting to the summit, and getting out there
One goal.
safely. Yeah.
Okay, I have some silly questions.
Go on.
But I think everyone needs to know this.
Okay.
Okay. I know you got sick during the trip.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did you get sick?
I think 4 to 5 times.
45 times.
4 to 5. 4
I was
to
like,
5 times.
Tima, you're superwoman. Okay, so 4 to 5 times, and this was all like food poisoning or other things?
So I got, and as we like started trekking, there's a city in the mountain called Namche Bazaar, and there's a lot of hikers and trekkers in there, and like people party sometimes there. It's at like 3,800 something meters. It's very nice, very cultural, amazing, but the amount of people, the amount of yaks coming in, it's really dirty. And I had something from a bakery, and I got food poison, and it was like a bad bug, and it wouldn't leave.
Oh my God.
I had to stop for like 3-4 days until it came out of me, and I had to take antibiotics. And then the second time I got sick is when we were climbing the first mountain. I had the kumbu cough. It's from the cold and the dust, and my cough was so bad it got stuck to me throughout the trip. Next time I got sick, I had a really bad fever, and I had to stay in that climb. And then when we went to Camp 3, which is at really high, 7,400 meters, I came down coughing blood. I'm like, I think I'm dying. Like, and then I called my dad, and I was crying. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
What did you think there?
I thought I'm not gonna summit. I thought this is it. I'm like, look, my mind is okay. I'm still willing to climb, but my body is not helping me, and I feel so helpless. And it's so annoying because I know I can do it, but the sickness is not leaving me alone. And I was extremely frustrated because I know I can do it. Like, I just can I have a magical pill that would make me feel just normal? I don't want to feel superhuman, just normal. So I had to go back down, and I had something called the oxygen vacation. So I was at 4,000 meters. Base camp is at 5,630 meters. And I was
So you
taking
went down
antibiotics.
and then
Because your body recover faster. So these are the times I got sick.
And I know that bathroom situation was quite interesting.
Yeah, it gets
So
interesting.
How do you go to the bathroom on a mountain, like while with all the people there and around you? Like, how does it work?
I have so much stories about bathrooms in the mountains.
This is an episode
Like
by
this is
itself.
just evidence. Seriously, like on other mountains, it's even more embarrassing. So the higher you go, the less fancy it gets, let's say.
Of course.
So you start sleeping in tea houses, everything. Yeah, the washroom is okay. But then you reach the base camp, and then there's a tent. And then in the tent, there's like a bucket and a seat. And then you open the seat. And like you see everything inside the bucket.
In
But it's
nature.
okay. You just don't, it's in the bucket. You're literally sitting
Oh
as if
my
in the
God.
toilet. And then imagine when there's a storm outside and everything is flying, and all you're saying, I hope the tent doesn't fly when you're in
While
the
I'm doing my
toilet.
business. Oh my God.
So this is on base camp, and then you get to Camp 1, and it gets very interesting. So Camp 1 is like a dead valley, and it's just snow and like avalanches happening all the time, so you just need to stay in the tent. So the bathroom is basically a small bucket, a green one, with a bag in it, and then we dig a hole, and then we put the hole in the middle of like the mountains next to the
Nature.
tent,
So,
and then you would just walk outside and think that people are sitting on the snow, but they're not. They're actually doing their business on the snow, but it just looks weird.
Oh my
so like
God.
I would go, but at that point you really don't care. So like I would scream
And
out
everyone is
very
doing
loud.
it.
Exactly. I'm like, guys, I'm going to the toilet, so nobody comes out of there.
Yeah.
And like I would like play because the hat was big, so I would sit and cover my whole self so they don't
So no
see
one
who's
sees.
on the toilet.
But I think your hair gives it like
Not would hide it. And then the second camp 2, the toilet gets even more interesting. So it's in a tent, but there was a really bad storm this year. Everything flew away, so they couldn't get the tent back up again. So it was
my
a
God.
seat in the mountains, and you sit and everybody watches you.
Oh my
And
God.
literally, I would say hello.
Hello, listen, I'm doing something private here. You can give me some private time out.
So it was funny.
Or I'll come watch you when you do it.
Oh yeah, it gets really funny. And then on camp 3, I just decided not to use the toilet and hold it, because on camp 3 we were sleeping on an ice slope, and getting outside the tent would be like, because I had my oxygen bottle on, I had the mask on, and I need to carry a lot of things. So
Like
I'm
how
like,
many kg?
the oxygen bottle was 9 kilos. And the boots, there's like triple boots, and then I need to put the down suit, I need to put my harness
my
and
God.
clip to the rope, and then go outside and then take it off again. So
This
I'm
sounds like, honestly, this sounds like, because I love skiing.
yeah.
It's like, you're going to be miserable carrying all this stuff, your skis and boots and everything, but then you enjoy it when you're in the mountain. I think this is similar but harder.
Yeah.
Carrying all these like 9 kgs
It's
plus
a lot.
plus.
It's a lot. I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna use the bathroom.
I think that as well, it says so much. Like for people who think women are weak and can't do certain things, either emotionally or mentally or physically, I think you need to have a chat with this woman, honestly, because it requires a lot of mental strength and emotional strength to do such thing. And I know guys who are even like in very, very serious, athletic jobs, they can do things like that. It's very, very interesting. Anything you want to share with people about not just this experience, but in general of the work you do? Because I know that you're transforming your passion into a platform, a business platform where you can engage with people, giving them the same opportunity that you've found out for yourself.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to share in that area?
I'd love to say that do not allow society impose what you are, what you should be, how is it usually done, what are the standards. There are really no standards. No one can set your limits. You set your own limits. If I graduated with a finance degree, but I do not like it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's never too late. Always explore new things. I had to explore multiple sports to figure out what I really want and what I can do with it. And if you manage to explore your passion at an early stage, train so hard, do everything it takes, put all the ingredients you need to put into yourself to actually excel in it. And once you do not be shy to put it out to the world, because I was extremely shy at the beginning to put out to the world I'm a mountain climber or in front of the cameras, and I was really shy, and I'm like, I don't want to share it, and it's weird. But then I'm like, wait, I'm seeing how people are interacting with it, and people actually text me back and they consider things they
Interested
want to
in it.
change. I'm like, if I can create a change, that's amazing. So giving back. So if you manage to build something, make sure you are giving back, because what's more important than focusing on yourself is basically also giving back to your community, to your society, empowering your society, no matter who you are, what it is, what industry you are in. There's always ways to give back to the society. And never tell girls, especially young girls, be careful. You might fall. Be careful. Let them fall.
Let them fall and learn from
Let
it.
them learn from it.
This is, you learn from mistakes, right?
Yeah.
You have to hurt yourself to learn.
Exactly.
Or even just go through the experience to learn.
Yeah.
So Tima, what's next for you?
So right now, I'm working on a project. I want to complete the Explorer Grand Slam. So 67 people in the world have completed it, and there's only 15 women, and there is zero Arab women who have done it, and it's not nice
And
not
of
to
course
see
you're
the
gonna take
flag.
over.
It's not nice not to see the flag on the list. I'm like, we need to put someone's flag. So hopefully, whoever it makes it, like, I hope other people are working on it. But like, one of my plans for 2020 is to finish Antarctica, so complete the 7 summits, ski to the North Pole and the South Pole, and by then we take the Middle East name to that list. And then definitely climb more 8,000ers. So there are 14 mountains that are above 8,000 meters, like Everest. And of course, continue inspiring other people, sharing my story, sharing my knowledge. Show people the other side of the world. It's not just business and money. It's time and energy and like self-love.
But Tima, I know that this industry or this sport is very expensive.
It is.
And I know like a lot of female athletes or female like sports individuals struggle getting the sponsorship. Be honest, like I want to know, do you find it hard for your area, especially being the first?
I
and the
never got
youngest?
sponsored.
So you paid out of
Exactly.
pocket.
So this is why I couldn't quit my job. But I decided not to climb mountains and work on sponsorship and just quit my job because I can no longer fund myself, obviously.
Like how much does, like let's say the Everest for example, approximately?
$55,000 inclusive.
So guys, next time you think about buying your a beautiful Hermes bag or something, think about this investment in people you make, and companies and corporates in general. Support individuals with passion, because even from a branding perspective and exposure and positioning, people like Tima who work so hard and are so dedicated can get your brand to another level. So please, especially women, focus on supporting women. This is not, no one is asking for charity. This is not charity. This is supporting, this is giving back, as you mentioned. And I think it's very important when you find someone who's empowering and self-motivated, invest in them. This is an investment. I mean, honestly, I don't see why not seeing you more of a brand ambassador for all these outdoor things. They're missing out on tackling women. They're missing out on engaging with women consumers. These are opportunities.
Definitely.
I just don't
But
see
it's
it.
hard for them to understand mountaineering, and when they hear about the cost, they freak out. And
But to be honest,
it's a lot
Tima,
of things.
I know there's a lot of things, but we can't justify, like, I've seen things being, sponsored that has no value.
I know, I've seen that as well. And
Okay,
I'm like,
so
what is going
at
on
least
with the world?
Fulfill someone's dream. Use them as an inspiration to engage with a lot of especially females.
Yeah.
And I feel honestly really bad that you didn't get sponsors, because companies should be jumping on opportunities like that. But I think they haven't seen. They're not realizing the opportunity
Maybe.
of engaging and targeting women. So.
Well, I'm focusing on that this year, pitching here and there, making people understand the value of what I'm doing. It's not just how many followers you have on social media, or it's more like how did they sponsor people before social media? What did they look at? What are the numbers? This is what the companies
Yeah.
are not getting nowadays.
Believing in the person itself.
Exactly.
I think now it's just a show. And I know, like, after I know you didn't know that you were the first Arab young.
When I came down,
When you
I
came
just
down
discovered
until-
recently about the Arab thing. By the way,
Yeah.
my friend was doing this. I'm like, I think you're the youngest. I'm
But
like,
I was
"Woo."
so proud of you and everything. And I want to just say, last thing before we end this, and I'll let you also say a couple of things, that I think the support system around you, even friends and family, regardless of they give you crap in the beginning and they think you're crazy doing this, but they got together to support you.
Yeah.
And I think a message that I want to send to all moms and dads and brothers and friends, push people and support them with their ideas, even if it sounds crazy, because you never know, this crazy idea can do so many good things for other people. And I want to have last question for you. If you want to recognize one person that really pushed you. I know it's hard sometimes because you have so many people.
Yeah.
But if there's one person who really, their empowerment really affected you.
See, my whole family believed in me. My whole surrounding believed in me. I think everyone. I cannot choose one person. It would be unfair, because everyone knew I'm gonna make it.
but they supported you.
Definitely.
I always say that, like, when people ask me the same question, like, who inspires you? Who's your role model? I say it's very hard because everything, I have something for everything. Like an individual for a different area, I can't just collect it in one person.
Yeah, exactly.
But-
it's a combination of people.
Yeah, but I think it's very important to showcase that support, even with like just being kind or supportive, like, oh, this is what you need to do, or that, or do that, while you're going through a life-changing experience, going to one of the most dangerous places
Yeah.
in the world. Support matters. So Tima, thank you so much. I know you have an event to attend to.
Thank you very much
And
for having me.
I'm
I'm super excited
I'm
about
so
your next
excited.
guest. All her guests are amazing.
Thank you, and I'm very excited, and I hope that a lot of people will learn about the work you do, how you empower women and youth. And guys, we will put the details so you can get in touch with Tima if you're interested in what she does. Please follow her, support her. She needs all that. And bye-bye.